Hi, friends. Welcome to a whole new way of teaching and learning. This is all new to me, and I know it's new to almost all of you too. So, I'm sharing with you our first lesson that I want you to do and to engage in. And this is a presentation called 12 Things You May or May Not Know About Mrs. Nagley. And I'm going to make mistakes, and I'm just going to keep going and just know that I know that that mistake was made, and my brain is growing. I can't get it perfect, and I'm not going to try to get it perfect because it's just too time consuming. And it's okay if you make a mistake, because if you can't make a mistake, you can't make anything. So 12 things you may or may not know about Mrs. Nagley. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because you are going to create a project of 12 things I may or may not know about you. So this is an example of something you can do. I just created a Google slide presentation, and I'm using the window key and the G key to voice over my slide presentation. So you know that I love quotes and I share quotes every day. And it's because I find inspiration in people's words and people's stories. Words are powerful. Words have a way to heal and to motivate and to create passion in people. And one of my very favorite quotes is by Alfred Lord Tennyson. And he said, "I am part of all that I have met." And he's talking about experiences, he's talking about people, everything that you have lived, everyone that you have ever met have made you who you are. So I am super thankful and blessed that you guys are all a part of me now. You are a beautiful part of me, and I want to thank you for that. I miss you guys a ton. I miss my teaching friends. I miss school. I know that's crazy. Right now, you're probably not missing school too much yet. Or maybe you are because you're missing your friends a lot, just like I am. So I'm trying to stay busy and I'm still doing silly things, of course, because I'm a silly person and you know that. And there's a meme going around on social media that's Spirit Week of dress up. So Monday I wore my pajamas. That one wasn't hard. Tuesday I dressed up and Jessica dressed up with me like we were going to the beach. And today I have on my crazy hat. And tomorrow I'll be a superhero. And Friday, I don't know about that mismatch because you know Friday's Orange Friday. But maybe I'll have to wear, I don't know about that mismatch thing, but we'll see. So, what are you doing to keep yourself busy? I hope it's something that you're finding a lot of fun doing. Maybe you're creating TikTok videos. I've created a few of those myself. The things that I love, my loves, and the things that I cherish are my faith, my family, Oklahoma State University, math, and the beach, of course, and seashells. I collect seashells. So this is my family, Matthew and Jessica, my husband Philip, and me. And there's a picture of Jessica and me, and Matthew and me. Jessica is 23 and she's going to graduate in May from Oklahoma State University. She majored in pre-health with physiology and psychology, and she wants to be a doctor who works with people with autism and attention deficit. And Matthew is a pilot, and he works for a company called Envoy, which is American Eagle. And so he works for American Airlines in a roundabout way. And my husband's an engineer, and that means he uses math and science and he puts them together to create and make things and design things. I have lived in 4 different states. I was born in California, and whenever I was 8, we moved from California to Oklahoma on a Greyhound bus. My mom came and got my brother and I after school one day, and we had suitcases, and we jumped on a bus that looked like this, and we moved to Oklahoma. And we lived here almost, well, I've lived here almost all of my life. I was in California till I was 8, and then moved to Oklahoma, and my husband and I lived here until I was, gosh, 31, and we moved to Texas and we lived there for 5 years, and that's where Jessica was born. Matthew was born in Oklahoma, and we were in Texas for 5 years, and the company that my husband worked for moved us to Indiana, and we were in Indiana for 9 years, and then we moved back to Oklahoma in 2007, and I started teaching back in Claremore Public Schools at that time. So I've been back here since 2007. I love visiting new places. I've gone to 27 states. Washington isn't colored in. I went there last year for professional development where I taught a class. And so the pink states are the places where I visited. And I really had never traveled until I was an adult. Some of those places I went through, driving through, but then some of them I've gone back and visited. And most of them I've either gone to professional development, or I've, like when we lived in Indiana, we went to Michigan and Illinois and Ohio for different things. And so the surrounding states of where I lived, I also visited for different reasons. But I didn't do that until I was a grown up. I love adventure. I have swam with dolphins. Jessica and I got to pet some dolphins when we were in Orlando presenting in February. And I swam with stingrays whenever I swam with the dolphins before. But now when we go to Florida, there's a whole bunch of cow-nosed stingrays like the one in this picture, and we used to be terrified of them, but now that we've been there so many times, we just go out and stand when they come, because they come in huge groups, and they just swim all majestically around us, and they're just so beautiful. I hate to say it out loud, but I've actually eaten crickets and mealworms before. Matthew is an Eagle Scout, and I scouted with him from Tiger's Cub through Eagle Scout. And one of the things that we did was a day of edible insects, and we cooked with crickets and mealworms, and they didn't taste bad, but I'm not doing that again. I'm also slightly competitive. This video that I'm going to show, and I hope it captures. If not, you can just watch it in the presentation for yourself. I went to a professional development with Miss Ron, and we were timing ourselves to see if we could get the air just right in our tires and be faster than anybody else. And so this video is of me in that competition.
I'm ready. No, I know. I'm ready. Go! Oh, but you have to go again. Whoa! Oh, no!
I wanted to be faster than anybody else, so I was going as fast as I could, and then I realized I better stop because there's a wall right there. Everybody was worried that I got hurt, but I was just laughing so hard I couldn't get up. I like fast cars. I like cars that look like old cars. I like old cars. I have a Dodge Challenger named Bullet. Named Bullet because it's silver. Named Bullet because, of course, OSU. So here comes Bullet. I drive with my speed, my speed set all the time because I don't want to get a ticket because I can go too fast too easily. I am a math nerd. I love Twitter. I have met a lot of math leaders and math teachers from all around the world, really. I've met people from France and England and Canada and every state in the United States, including Alaska and Hawaii. And many of those people have become my friends. And a lot of those people are the people who have done the research and written the books and written even our curriculum that I use in our class. And so I met all those people through Twitter, and I lead a Twitter chat on Thursday nights for people to come and learn how to be better teachers and to do math better and just to learn from each other. And so I have two different Twitter accounts. I'm at LM Math Chat, and I'm also at M&M Math. And in the bottom picture, you can see Max and Annie and Suzanne, and they are the people. They're so, I love them so much. They really are my friends, and they are the people who created What Do You Notice? What Do You Wonder? And I met them through Twitter, and now we present together and meet up when we go to conferences. And so being a math nerd is really fun, y'all. I might be famous. Well, not really, but I have been in the paper and I have been on TV. When we did the teacher walkout, I dressed up like a hippie the second week because I was born in the 1960s and I lived in California, and there were a lot of hippies during that time, and there were a lot of people doing protests that I don't even remember why because I was too young to know, but I thought it would be funny and fun and get noticed that I knew how to protest because I was born in the 60s. So people took pictures of me a lot because of me being a hippie and protesting. It was kind of a fun thing to do. So I got a lot of pictures in the paper. And then when we went to Florida a few years ago, I found a seashell called a Junonia, and that's what I'm holding in my hand. And it's a super rare seashell, and it's so rare that when you find one, they put your picture in the paper. And so there's a picture of me in the paper in Sanibel, Florida, my very favorite place on earth. My favorite number is 12. That's why you guys are going to do 12 things I may or may not know about you. And my birthday is 12/26/63. And if you look at the digits of my birthday, you can see 12 in the month. 2 times 6, guess what that is? 12. 6 plus 3 isn't 12, so I would have to think about ways to make 6 and 3 a 12. But how can I use my whole birthday? So I could do 1 plus 2 plus 6 plus 3, and I get 12. So if I do my month and my year, I get 12. So I like playing with my birthday to create different ways and different connections with 12. And it's really easy because 2, 6, and 3 are all factors of 12. So, and also good things come in 12. There's puppies and flowers and cupcakes and donuts and eggs. So 12 is just a fun number. I have attended 16 schools, and changing schools is hard. I have taught for 17 years in 5 different schools, and this is my 13th year in Claremore. I taught in Empire, which is in Duncan, Oklahoma. It's kind of like Sequoia. I taught at Duncan, which is very much like Claremore. And then since I've been in Claremore, I first started at the junior high, and I was there 3 years. And then I went to Rooster for 5, and then I was at Catalina for 1, and now I've been back at the junior high. This is my 4th year back. And so over on the right, you can see all of the schools that I've attended from preschool all the way through all of my colleges. Here's some bonus information. I was a band nerd in high school, and I started playing the trumpet when I was in 6th grade, and then I moved and played the baritone, and I would go back and forth. I was in jazz band and marching band and orchestra, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I was really happy to have my band nerd friends because it was a place to connect. When I was changing schools all the time, I already had friends whenever I was in band, and so that was awesome. I think lizards are adorable. I have a pet lizard named Dova, and that's him there in those pictures. And then when we went to Florida, summer before last, there were baby lizards everywhere, and I got this one. It was right by my door at my condo, and it crawled up and got under my hair. And so adorable. I have met some famous people. I met Jo Boaler. That's a picture of her with Mindy England, and Mindy is a superintendent at Avant Public Schools. I met the cast of Happy Days, and that was a really popular show when I was in high school. And I worked at a place called Casa Bonita, and they were filming here or doing something in Tulsa, and they came and ate at the restaurant where I was working, and I got to wait on them. And then the Outsiders cast, you can see Rob Lowe, Patrick Swayze, um, Tom Cruise, like all these famous dudes. They were not famous then, but they were filming Outsiders in Tulsa, and they came and ate at Casa Bonita, and they were our age, like they were in high school too, and we invited them to come to a party we had after work, and they came. So they weren't really that famous then, so it was no big deal. But now I could say, hey, I met all those people. They don't remember me, of course. And you know I bleed orange. Every Friday is Orange Friday. Even if I'm not at school, Friday is Orange Friday. Even in the summer, every Friday is Orange Friday. Um, when I went to high school, this my senior year, my mom made $2,000 the year I graduated. We were poor, and I had teachers who believed in me, and I had a counselor who helped me get into Oklahoma State University and follow my dream of becoming a teacher. And here I am. I met my husband at OSU, and we've been married for 35 years. Jessica's getting ready to graduate from OSU, and in 2015, I graduated with my master's so I could teach you guys math. So OSU has changed my life. It changed my future. It made it possible for my children to have a future, and I hope it's changing your life too. So go Pokes. I bleed orange. I think math is beautiful, and I think math is beautiful for all of the places you see in the world, for all of the patterns, all the connections of how math is connected to our very being, our DNA, and all of the beautiful things in nature. Paul Lockhart said, doing mathematics should always mean finding patterns and crafting beautiful and meaningful explanations. And that's why I love math, because it's like a puzzle, and those connections and those patterns and all of the things, all the beautiful things that math creates and makes possible is amazing. It's not adding and subtracting and multiplying and dividing. Those things are just like calculations. Math is what's beautiful. So now it's your turn. Your first long distance assignment is to create a presentation. You can do a slide presentation with a voiceover or without. You can make a poster and send me a picture of it. You can make a stop motion video. You can make a YouTube video. You can take 12 amazing pictures and put them into a collage. Whatever, however you want to create something to share 12 interesting things about you with me. And so just to remember, if you want to do a voiceover like I did on this slide, you push the window button on your computer and the G button, and the sound bar will pop up, and it's the way that gamers do tutorials, and that's how you can do a voiceover. Can't wait to see your products.